Hi guys, my Epic Carnival Cruise review is here. My DMs, phone calls, messages have been going off since I returned, asking how was it, what's the experience, what's the cost, and I thought I'd create a video for you guys to have a look at it and give you your feedback. So let me introduce myself. My name is Carlene. I'm from Toronto, Canada. My background is Trinidadian and St. Kitts. I've been on 14 Trinidad Carnivals, I believe, and this is my 14th trip to Trinidad Carnival. Been on to 2 Uber Circuit Cruise, crop over many times, Miami, Toronto, New York, you know how that goes, all those small ones as well. So I think my opinion is valuable for those who are interested, especially for the newbies and those who always want to experience it or looking for other ways to experience Trinidad Carnival. So here's my review. If I'm looking down, I made some notes so I won't forget, so please bear with me. Why did we pick Epic Carnival Cruise? Well, we weren't really going. We weren't planning. The only thing we did was book and secure our costume a whole year in advance because we weren't sure if we're going to go or not. But they had a process where you have to make a deposit early and then make another deposit sometime in August and so forth like that. I think it was in March we made a deposit. So we booked that and still wasn't sure. And as we made a decision to go, we were looking at Hyde, but we knew it was sold out because those who had booked in 2021 and 22, I'm sure that was transferred over to 2023. So that wasn't available. And we looked at other hotels. I've stayed at the Radisson before. I've stayed in guest homes. My family's a little bit far out, so I didn't want to stay out there, but I wanted to be central where Hyatt was due to the event locations and so forth like that. So Epic came along and we're like, oh, okay, let's try this out and see what it's all about and bring the feedback to our friends and family who are interested in going. So we booked August 8th. And it was a 1-bedroom owner suite. It was huge and I loved it because I've been on some other cruises before and it was a balcony or interior and a little window, and I just loved the room that we booked, but it was expensive, right? So it was $11,700 US for the room only, but there was also an option to add ticket package to that. So we had booked the premium experience package, and we'll go into that a little bit further. But yeah, that was $599 per person on top of the $11,700 for the room. And in total, that's $12,898. So the total cost was $6,449 USD, which was converted to about 8,000 Canadian. I know it's expensive, but it's worth it. So if you are planning to go to Trinidad Carnival next year, you need to plan now. And the 2 main things is accommodations and flights. Those are the 2 main things you need to. If you're not going on an Epic Carnival Cruise, look for your hotels now. So let us talk about the dates. So the departure date with the cruise was Thursday, February 16th. We left and departed at 10 p.m. and we arrived February 17th, which is Friday at noon. Now, I always recommend you to travel the day before any cruise, no matter if it's uncharted or not. Fly before it because these airlines can change anything. At least you have 24 hours to rebook or reschedule a new flight to get to your cruise. Do not fly on the day of your cruise. However, my friend had flew in. Her plan was to fly in on Wednesday, and we go to the port on Thursday to catch the ship. Her flight got canceled and many people were on that flight from the cruise, and the owners of Epic Carnival Cruise really worked with Barbados Tourism to ensure those flights are leaving first thing Thursday morning to get onto the ship. Actually, there was 2 flights that was delayed 2 days from the Tuesday and the Wednesday. So there was a lot of issues regards to people who were on the flight. So that can be stressful. So like I said, I always recommend you booking or flying the night before you get on the cruise, because if there is any delays, there's some time to get to the ship. So again, we left Thursday, February 16th at 10 p.m. The boat started moving. and we arrived around February 17th, about 11:30, quarter to 12 to the dock, but it took some time for the ship to really disembark, where people can come off and so forth like that. During that time, I went for breakfast and so forth like that. So those are the dates that we went. As for me, I came in early the day before. I had a direct flight from Toronto with Air Canada, and I had checked in our hotel that my friend and myself had booked. I stayed at the Accra Hotel. It's quite central in Barbados. So I was waiting for her to come in, but she didn't come in. Around 10 o'clock, 10:30, she messaged me and said her flight's canceled. She's literally sitting in the seat, and they canceled the flight due to some issues in Barbados. So the owners of Epic Carnival Cruise, Johnny Mack, he worked with Barbados Tourism and made sure the flight the next morning was on time and it departed. Because many people on that flight, actually there was 2 flights, many of those people were able to get onto the Epic Carnival Cruise the next day. So their flight was 7:30, and they arrived in Barbados about 11 a.m. and checking in onto the cruise started about 11 a.m. or so till 5, 6. But we departed at 10 p.m. I heard there was some people who didn't make it. I am not sure. Maybe there was another flight that didn't get in on time. I'm not sure. It could be false. But that's what I heard on there. But majority of the people who were planned to come in from Barbados made it on the ship. Now, there was an option as well that you can check in from Trinidad. So you can fly in from Trinidad and check in on the cruise ship when we arrive on Friday. But I don't recommend it. That's my opinion. And I'll tell you guys later down the road why I don't recommend it based on my observations. But that was an option, because really the concept of the cruise was just a floating hotel for Trinidad Carnival, because a lot of these hotels were booked, and to bring more people into Trinidad, the cruise was a great option for people to come in and enjoy the experience. So let's talk about the package, the FET package. I know everybody's interested in that. So my FET package was the Premium Experience Package, $599 USD. So when we arrived on Friday, the FETs for Friday was Duckwork, which is by Scorch. And originally it was Soca Monarch, but that was canceled. So they moved it to Mashal Platinum tickets we got on there. So that was for Friday. Saturday was Caesar Army Ambush and Soca Brainwash along the Saturday itinerary as well. So those are the two on Friday and Saturday. So for Sunday events, that was included in the itinerary was Awake Breakfast Party and Private Ryan's new event, Elements Imagine Juve. I'd been searching all over the internet about Awake, never heard of it, so I was like, I'll just chill in the room or on the ship for that day, because I had no clue what it was. A lot of people in the unofficial Epic Carnival Cruise had questions about that. On Facebook had questions, and there was nothing about it, and all they gave us was stay tuned, stay tuned. So I don't know, maybe they were coming up with something. Eventually, I think they were doing something on the ship. If I remember, they were doing something on the ship that morning. But I didn't go anywhere. I had options to buy veil tickets through a friend, but there was another issue regards to my friend's costume. That's another thing. So we just didn't want to go anywhere, because we knew we were going to go to Elements Juve that same day around 4 o'clock. So, and then on the actual Juve morning, Monday morning, was Coco Devils. That was an option. We really didn't pick up our package. We had our package, but we didn't pick it up because we're like, okay, 2 Juves, a third one, Carnival Monday. Let's just chill and hang out on the deck. So we kind of didn't pick up our package for that, but that was an option, Coco Devils Juve. They also had an option to add a costume, so which was Rogue, which is part of Tribe. That was part of an option. I don't have too many details in it because we already booked our costume with Tribe. So I do know there was issues getting your costume. I'll say you didn't get your costume till Sunday, the day before Carnival, Monday evening. And how I know is that there was a WhatsApp group that the owners and the admins who was part of Epic, they would send out information there, what's going on the ship, what's next, and so forth like that. And then there's an unofficial WhatsApp group, which was very informative. People were friendly, introducing themselves. So everybody's talking in both groups. So it was quite interesting in both groups. But in the official WhatsApp group, costume pickup was Sunday, the night before Carnival. And I had a feeling it was going to be late because there was issues with Tribe. And we've been with Tribe for many, many years. That's another story. But yeah, that was part of the package. And I didn't think that was appropriate time for someone to pay for a costume to get it Monday, even if you might need to fix something on your costume for the ladies or the size ain't right and so forth like that. So I don't know about that process there. So let's talk about how did we get our tickets. And this is the one thing that I really did not like in this process is obtaining our tickets. They wanted us to pick up our tickets the day of each event, which did not make sense for me because there's a lot of people that need to go off the ship to go pick up their costume as early as they can, or they're attending another event. For example, we arrived on Friday and we said, okay, let's go pick up our Tribe costume. So we got off the boat at 12 and we wanted to go to Duckwork and we wanted to go to Machel. So we had to make an executive decision, which party are we going to go? Because we went to Tribe, and as we got there, I want to say, I don't know, 2, 3, huge line. We stayed there for maybe 30 minutes. We're like, nah, this is not going to work. So this was about 4 o'clock. I know Duckwork also changed their time of a start date. It was supposed to be 2. I believe they started at 4 and finishing at 10 p.m. And the location of this party is not a good location in terms of transportation. It's one road in, one road out, and it's a lot of traffic. And it's traffic where you're not moving. And we still had to pick up our tickets, our Caesar Army tickets, which starts at 2 a.m. in the morning Saturday. So we said, you know what, let's skip Duckwork. We didn't pick up our Duckwork tickets, and let's just go to Machel and meet up with some other friends that's already in Trinidad. So we go to Machel. So before we went to Machel, I said, okay, let's pick up our Caesar Army tickets because by the time Machel's finished, Caesar Army is about to start in like 1 or 2 hours. So as we went to go get our Caesar Army stuff, it was about after 6 and still the package wasn't there. So we sat around by the lobby, by the bar where you to collect the tickets for a while. And then we started seeing the package come in about, I want to say 7 p.m. So we got our package. We went to our room, hanged out, and then we got dressed to go to Machel. So as we were in Machel, we got some upgraded tickets through a friend, from the platinum tickets they gave us in the package to diamond packages. But we ended up down where the big crowd is just to get up close. But a lot of people in the group didn't get their Caesar Army tickets yet. And they're saying, well, I just came from Duckwork. I'm at Machel. How am I supposed to get Caesar, which starts at 2? And the people who's giving up the tickets weren't there. So before I start with the other tickets, the other events, I know you had questions in regards to transportation. They did offer transportation to these events. They range from 20 US or 35 US, 50 US. I'm not sure the details. We normally have a driver, a friend of ours for some time, and we usually use him to pick us up. And we had another friend that stayed at the Hyatt that also organized a maxi, which, you know, holds about 20 people. So we jumped in with them as well. So personally, I don't like I wouldn't get the transportation if you don't have any. Get it, but if you want to leave the event, if you want to not go to the event or change the direction of where you want to go, unfortunately you got to go where you paid for, and then maybe you got to wait for people to come on or leave. I don't know the details of how that worked, but for me it wasn't something I wouldn't want to do, because I don't want to wait for the maxi to be filled. Somebody's missing, we can't go this way, we can't go that way, we got to leave a specific time and so forth like that. So that's where I want to say I didn't selected that option. So for those who are interested in transportation, there's availability, but it's up to you. I can't comment on how that process works because I didn't use it. So the next event was Caesar Army. So after Mashal finished, we left before he was still on stage. We left about 2:30 a.m. It was a late start, you know, yada, yada, yada issues as well, but I kind of enjoyed my time. We left 2:30 and we just got dressed. We went back to the cabin, got dressed for Caesar Army. So we didn't sleep. So we went to Caesar Army. Our driver picked us up around 4 a.m. I think it was 4 a.m. And we drove east. I don't know where some racetrack. I don't know the actual address and location, but it was east, and well-organized events. Had a good time. They served some food at the beginning, some soup. The entertainment was good. Tons of people. Bubbles, of course. Paint. A really well-organized event. Plenty bacchanal going on in there. The crowd was ready to party. So I had a good time with Caesar Army. So after Caesar Army, we said, okay, we're going to go to Tribe before we go to Soca Brainwash. Now that's a big issue. A friend of ours had linked me and say, hey, I got a friend that's in Tribe that can help us get our costume a little faster. So we were able to go back doors to get our costume. That was a great help, because we were there the day before and it was just a mess. So yeah, another story with that. So let's talk about Tribe briefly, just quick. So we got through the back. We waited for our costume. First, I want to say my friend did order delivery at Hyatt, which was next door to the ship. So we went there actually Friday, and they said your costume was not there. They didn't deliver it. So they referred her back to Tribe. So I'm like, okay, I didn't select delivery, so she was coming with me while I pick up my costume. So we went into the back, and they took my name and so forth like that. They looked, but while I was there was a whole mess. A lot of people were missing pieces. A lot of people were missing costume bras. A lot of people who had selected delivery was not delivered. They could not find my friend's costume at all. They searched data, even for the delivery, they couldn't find it. So that was a problem with that. They found my costume, and my friend's like, I'm not playing. And she wanted her money back and so forth like that. And I'm like, oh, who am I going to jump up with? I had some other friends, but I'm like, I really wanted to jump up with my friend that I came with, right? Eventually, she got a resolution. I won't say what the resolution was, but she eventually got a resolution, and we were able to play mass. But unfortunately, a lot of people were dissatisfied, and we got our costume within 4 hours. And while we were there, people were dressed already to go out. People were dressed to go to Soca Brainwash. So there was a lot of things going on. Fights were breaking out, screaming and yelling, because people spend money to the events, and they have to spend all day in the waiting room trying to get, or in the line trying to get their costume. And this is why I said Epic Carnival Cruise should give all our tickets at the beginning of our trip or when we check in, because there's so many other factors beyond Epic Carnival Cruise regards to the costume, and that may take most of your time. And some people were picking up the costumes would go straight to the events, so that takes a lot of your time when you land and when you get back into Trinidad. So unfortunately, Tribe really disappointed a lot of the loyalty customers on that part. So let's get back to the cruise. I After we got our costume, we got back to the ship about 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock, and then we started getting ready to go to Soca Brainwash. Met up with our friends at the Hyatt. They had the maxing, and we went there and we had a fabulous time. Soca Brainwash is the party on Saturday. You don't want to miss it. You want to get there. What I like about Epic Carnival Cruise, I was able to get Soca Brainwash through that package instead of trying to get it online and waiting seconds to see. Okay, as I was continuing on the tickets for Soca Brainwash, like Soca Brainwash is very hard to get tickets on your own. You got to be online, ready to go when they release the tickets because they sell it in seconds. So that was a good thing about Epic Carnival Cruise. As Private Ryan is part of that group as well, we were able to secure Epic Soca Brainwash without the stress. So that's a really good thing. Same with Caesar Army, I believe. It's hard to get tickets too, so it was easier to get Caesar Army tickets as they are also part of Epic Carnival Cruise partnership as well. So as Soca Brainwash was finished, it was Sunday now, and it was time for a breakfast party. Like I said, we didn't go to the breakfast parties, the wake or anything like that on the ship. We had to, we wanted some rest because we were going to another Juve event, and my friend had to deal with her costumes and so forth to play mass, and so we didn't go anywhere. We were offered to go to other breakfast parties, but we were just tired. We just didn't want to do anything. So Sunday evening, that Sunday during the day, we went to go pick up our tickets for Private Ryan's event, Imagine, which is Elements Juve. That started, I believe, 4, but we didn't get there till maybe, I want to say 6 or so. We went there. It's a new event. It was good enough people. It was good. It was a decent event. The music was good. Oh my God, the water, lots of water, got soaking wet, but I had a good time. And we left about, I want to say 9 o'clock. I think the event was finishing at 10. We left at 9 o'clock and we called our driver, say we're ready to go, but we picked up some food. And then we went back to the ship. I know there was probably things going on in the ship, but we didn't spend much time on the ship, honestly. We were in and out, and we went to have a drink and stuff like that. But we just wanted to chill this time and enjoy bits and pieces of Trinidad Carnival. I wanted to mention about what was included in the package. I know it's far from the beginning, but what included from the package was all you can eat and all you can drink premium drinks. So you had dinner and you had buffet style. And then you had the premium drinks any time of the day, morning, noon, and night. So that was a plus for me because in Hyatt, you usually have your room book, but you still have to pay for drinks and food when there. I think breakfast was included with Hyatt, but I liked Epic that the food was there. The food was decent. Some of it was repetitive, but it was eatable, and I enjoyed some of the food that was presented. So Carnival Monday and Tuesday, let's talk about that. So Carnival Monday, Tuesday, we started late. Me and my friends started late. We've done this many, many times. We weren't in a rush to catch the stage. We've experienced that before. It's the greatest experience. So if you want to experience it, go ahead. But I'm too tired. So we met our band at lunchtime, our rest stop. Because the heat was bad and we were just being lazy and tired. But we made it to the band at lunchtime spot with Tribe, and we started our evening after lunch with the crew and had an amazing time. But Tuesday, I didn't get to enjoy Tuesday as well because they wanted everybody on the ship by, I want to say 7 o'clock p.m. as the ship was leaving that same night back to Barbados. Now, again, we met our band a little late on Tuesday. We took our time. But around 5:30, I started looking at my clock often. And that's not normal. So I kept looking at the clock, looking at the time, and where the band was moving was further from the ship. So about 6 o'clock, 6:15 or so, we started moving back opposite of our band and went and walked back to the port by Hyatt to catch our boat, because they said 7 o'clock was the latest, or 8 o'clock was the latest to get on the boat. So that's something I didn't get to enjoy Carnival Tuesday, is that every hour I was looking at the clock, my clock, when it came around 5 o'clock, 5:30 or so. So that I didn't really enjoy. Now, they told everyone to be on time, and as we got back on the ship, we changed our costume, went for dinner, and we were just watching people come on this boat late. Around 10 p.m., Johnny Mac, which is the main partnership of Epic Carnival Cruise, announced in the WhatsApp group there's 227 people missing at 10 p.m. Now, if you have not been on a cruise, these cruises leave people. You don't want to play around when it comes to departure time and when to be on this boat. 227 people missing at 10 p.m. That's ridiculous. 11:15 came along. It was 89 people. That's ridiculous. And it was so funny. Out by the deck, and people was just telling people, run, screaming out the boat, run. So 11:15, there was about 89 people missing. That's extreme. But then around 12:15 a.m., it was about 13 missing. And I think Royal Caribbean left those people. That was extreme. Johnny Mac, which is the main partner of Epic Carnival Cruise, he tried his hardest to keep that boat on dock, because they leave your shit in Trinidad, and I'm sure it's, excuse my language, but it's very hard to rebook a flight to go back to where you you live and so forth like that. But he tried his hardest, and the Royal Caribbean had to leave. They had to depart. So whoever was left, you guys need a hotel. You guys don't need no ship, because that's just extreme for you not to be coming back on the ship at 12 midnight noon when you're supposed to be on the ship at 8 p.m. Anyways, after that, there was a farewell party on the boat. I didn't make it there. I was tired. I had dinner and hanged out for a bit, and then we went back to our rooms and chill out and stuff like that. But that's the only thing I didn't like about Tuesday. I had to rush to get back on the ship. I heard going forward that they may be leaving on Ash Wednesday, the day after Carnival Tuesday, 8 a.m. And I heard they also may stop in Tobago. So that might be a good plus for those who want to try it next year. But they cannot leave on Carnival Tuesday. I'm sorry. You spend a lot of money, $1,000 US for your costume. You need to enjoy those 2 days. So hopefully Johnny Mac and Epic Carnival Cruise will change that departure time till Ash Wednesday. Now, overall, my experience was good. I enjoyed my time. My plus was the food and the premium drinks. The only improvement I suggest is the distribution of tickets and costume. We are in a digital world where we shouldn't have to pick up tickets, because 2 of the tickets were digital, and the rest were like a formal ticket. So I think going forward, they should be able to send tickets as soon as you check in, or the day before you check in, something like that. They also advise not to sell tickets. I'm not sure why they implemented that, because if I couldn't make it and my cousin that lives in Trinidad, I'm like, hey, you want these tickets? I could have given it to her. I paid for it, right? So that was a little disappointment to hear. But we should all pick up our tickets the day we check in. I want to say it is not Uber Circle Cruise. Do not compare it to Uber Circle Cruise. That's a whole different level and experience. So as I mentioned before, there was an option for you to check in the cruise on Carnival Friday when we arrive from Barbados on the Friday. Those who have a flight in Trinidad or is in Trinidad, you can get a room on the ship and check in. And the reason why I didn't like that option was you had to check out on Carnival Tuesday. So I saw some people with their costume and luggage exiting the ship. And that's not fun because, again, you had to rush to get back on the ship, and now you have to rush to check out and leave the ship before the ship leaves. So if Epic Carnival Cruise change it to Ash Wednesday, it may be a better experience, but personally I didn't like that option. And again, when you arrive, you have to organize and all that stuff. That's not an option. So it's a lot of hustle and stress for me, and that's my opinion. So I do recommend leaving from Barbados if anyone's interested in going. I also want to mention, I saw kids on this boat. Was not expecting it. I thought it was more of a catered to the young adults, old adults, whoever, over 18 or so forth. But there were really young kids on this boat. I was surprised. There was other families. Again, they were promoted as a floating hotel, so I don't know if they came from Barbados. I don't remember seeing them from Barbados, but I saw a few of them while I was having lunch and breakfast. Didn't really see them at dinner, but it didn't bother me because the only time I saw them was really in the breakfast eating area, or maybe by the pool during the day when I'm not even there, or I'm leaving to go somewhere. So it didn't really bother me. They weren't out at night where the excitement and all the parties going on. They were in the cabin. So there's an option for kids if you want to bring your kids along there. So that didn't bother me, but I was surprised to see that. So, will I go back on Epic Carnival Cruise, or do I recommend it for anyone to go on it? And my answer is yes. I actually think it's a great concept. Why is the location is right beside Hyatt. It's central. It's close to all the events. Taxis, maxis are nearby. And the stress of getting your tickets is less. It was a little, as I said before, unorganized, but that will be improved. But it's less stress to obtain tickets on your own. And the experience overall, the entertainment on the ship, the staff on the ship was nice. They clean your room every day. The food was decent and good to me. Now, the only thing that will seal the deal for me are the dates. So Epic Carnival Cruise should leave Barbados Wednesday night, arrive in Trinidad, Port of Spain, Carnival Thursday. So it gives time for you to pick up your costumes or get your tickets from the distribution area, and also go on another event, and leave Port of Spain back to Barbados Ash Wednesday. So because Carnival Tuesday was a mess for me. I didn't enjoy myself because I was looking at the time, and obviously a lot of people didn't want to leave because there were so many people so many people was late on the ship. So if they leave Ash Wednesday morning, arrive back to Barbados that day, maybe you want to stay a few days in Barbados because that's one of my favorite islands. So if I do it, I'm staying in Barbados for a couple days. That will seal the deal for me. If they correct the dates, I will go back again. I recommend it, especially when you have a group of friends to go with. We all could be in one place, hang out on the deck, eat, activities. There's a spa, there's the pool. There's so many things on the cruise. Like I said, I've always liked the cruise. But I do recommend it for sure. They will do better next year. I believe they are going to start booking March of 2023. I think people who's are on the ship this year have first dibs. But if you're interested, go ahead and book it. I recommend it. There's always room for improvement. They got great potential. The plus for me was the food and the drinks. I loved it. And you guys will have a good time. Trinidad is the carnival. And those who's always scared or don't know what to do, this is great for newbies. And I want to say thank you, Epic Carnival Cruise. And one last thing, those who spend a little bit more money in the rooms, a little more attention would be great. Because I didn't get any swag or anything like that for the price for a room. Bye, guys. Have a good night.